Let's go drift it.
Hey guys, I'm the Drifting Dad, and today I wanted to give you another update on how the build for 2019 is going. I've been really busy so far doing a bunch of different little things to the car. So if you've been watching my earlier videos, you know I'm doing some big changes on the front and on also the rear. So I'm doing a Ford 8.8 rear axle and also putting FC front knuckles on the car. And I'm making really good progress on both of those. You can see here I was mocking up the hubs and everything on the new coilovers. Everything fits really good. And like we were talking in Eric's video, I will do the same thing that we did with his car. Take the spring off and everything and double check that like where I have the height of the coilover when I'm fully bottomed out, I won't have any issues. But first I need to build my new lower control arms. One thing I noticed with my control arms was when the wheel was at full lock, didn't have enough clearance between the frame rail and the tire, and that's the reason why I got that one flat at Piedmont in November. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to extend the lower control arms another 2 inches. I've taken the control arms off the car, and you can see that I've already extended these once before, about 2 inches, and changed the angle here. But with the new setup, Ride and Supply was able to send me some more parts. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of running a ball joint, and instead I'm going to run a spherical bearing. And once all those parts come here, I'll show you how that's going to work. But I also wanted to, well, I also need to extend the control arm 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my old extension off, save these for another set of arms or something, or just save them as reference if I ever want to lengthen arms again. Because the way that these are set up, they actually work really well for the FB knuckles I developed. I mean, like 55 degrees of angle or something at least, maybe even close to 60. So I know that these work well. Just in my particular case, I was having issues with the ball joint falling out. I don't know if these just were like too wore out to be done like that. I mean, really, you should have a snap ring, which unfortunately FB ball joints don't have a snap ring. But I know like AE86, S13 ball joints, they may or may not fit in here. I just did not want to deal with that and just go straight to spherical bearings. And then you can see here, I'm doing some cardboard aided design. It's the computer aided design. And this is going to be the side piece. I'm going to have two of these, and then this will be the top. And once I get the or the spherical bearing and the cup that it goes in, I'll finish the design on the top, and I'll cut everything out, make sure it works before I go ahead and cut some metal. And I could get these water jet, but I think what I'm going to do is just cut these out with my bandsaw because they're pretty small. So, but if you do want to ever make parts, a good tip is to use cardboard to mock it up, because cardboard is a lot like a piece of sheet metal. It's going to roll very similarly. It's going to bend similarly. So it's a good like starting point. So you can cut the cardboard real quick, mock everything up, make sure it fits, and then go ahead and cut metal so you're not wasting material. I'm going to say this is not the ideal setup, but until I get a table made or buy a table, it'll work for what I'm going to do. I'm going to be real careful not to cut myself. A good tip to do straight lines is to use a T-square. And basically this has a flat edge, so you can find this edge here. It's going to be pretty flat. I'm going to use that to make the straight line. And then what I do is take a Sharpie, mark where I need to grind off, and basically you grind off until that Sharpie mark is gone, and you know you've got it straight. That is probably the quickest and easiest way to get something squared up. And I mean by square, it's not very square, but for what I'm doing, it should be good enough. Obviously the best way would be putting this in a mill and using end mill and everything to square it up, but honestly for what I'm doing, I don't need that right now. So all ground down, nice and square. Also hit it with a file around the edges, and I'll be good. So you can see I've put the templates together. So real quick mock-up. So I don't have the cups yet. I don't know exactly how to cut that, but I wanted to see how that would look. See, I need to add some material here to get to the length I need. So what I'll do is just measure that, and then when I'm I can either add the template or remember when I cut that. I got my parts in from Broad End Supply. These are that uniball cup, and here's the spherical bearing that goes inside it, so they go together. Now, as you see, the fit is really tight, and that's on purpose so that you have a lot of strength there. So this goes in like this and will sit. Basically, a good trick is you can either cool down the bearing and heat up the housing, or if you just use some grease too, you can see it's really tight. And there we go. Goes together like that, and then this will go over here, get welded in like so, and then I have these misalignments that are going to be used in conjunction with some other spacers and stuff I'll show you later to actually hold the knuckle on. So we're basically replacing this ball joint with this much stronger spherical bearing, and I'm not going to have as many issues like with it falling out and whatnot. And actually, I'm going to weld it like this so that I'm not putting force on this, because it'll go snap ring that goes there. I went ahead and traced this out in the template, and I traced out the template on here onto this metal. I'm going to cut this with my bandsaw. Here I've got the 3 pieces. I'm going to tack them together with the housing as well for the spherical bearing, and we'll see how everything looks. Here I've got the control arm mocked up on the car. This is kind of like what I'm going to run. It's not the right length bolt, and some other minor changes have to be done, but this is approximately what I'm going to have for steering. I put the correct bolt and everything and have this kind of bolted together. I put the wheel on, and surprisingly, I'm still hitting right here. So what I'm going to do is try my control arm in the 1 inch farther out bolt holes I have in my subframe and see if that changes anything. And if it does, I'm going to basically add 1 inch here on these extensions, and we'll see where that ends up. It's crazy. I've got to extend this so much to get the clearance that I need with the 17s, because like with the S13, like we saw with Eric's car, you have all sorts of clearance with 17, the coilovers and everything. So just another challenge to make this car drift. Alrighty, so moving the control arm out another 1 inch definitely helped us a whole lot. You can see I can go, when I go full lock, lead wheel, the wheel is actually hitting the control arm, which I think is, I guess, pretty good, because if you think about it, like the tie rod and stuff is going to have to get in there somehow as well, so it's probably going to be less like that. But so I want to see, I mean, this is insane. I don't think I need this much angle, plus my contact patch is all screwed up. I think like right about there, it's still flat, but you can see it barely clears that way as well. I don't think I'll ever run this much angle. I mean, this thing is insane how much angle I can run. If you look at it from the front, that's just crazy. I don't know if I'd ever run that. So now here I have the clearance I need. So at this point, it's really just getting the control arm dialed in, get that welded up, and then I'm going to put the copy it for the other side and then get my ride height set. Here I have the arm fully welded up and it's installed on the car. You can see I've got my spacers and everything. I just need to finish installing the brakes and stuff, but with this you can see crazy angle, and I'll know the actual angle once I get the tie rods installed on my new correct smaller tires and wheels. thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I know it was definitely a long time coming, and I apologize for that. I've been super busy lately trying to get my car ready and all that. So please let me know what you think, and be looking forward to some more videos coming out very soon. I'm gotta get this car done, so there's gonna be a lot of work going on in the next couple weeks.